Hello there ladies and gentlemen, I am the CHAL from CHL Sport, your YouTube sporting network, and today is the next episode in the weekly series, the CHL Done Deals, where we take a look at all the teams of the Champions Hockey League and the wheelings and dealings they have been making. We've got a jam-packed episode again this week, so please do like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell to know this YouTube video, and for now, let's get straight into this one. So there is no Group A news. We go straight into Group B with TPS Turku. The promising striker Viljami Marjala from Oulu joined the strength of the society on Monday. The Turku Palloseura has signed a 2-year contract with a 19-year-old striker. 183cm and 81kg striker will move to Turku from the ranks of the Canadian Junior League Quebec Remparts, where Marjala has played in the previous 2 seasons. Known as the regular face of Finnish youth national teams, scored 46 power points in 68 regular season matches in the past season. He's also the NHL club's Buffalo Sabres 5th round booking from last summer. Turku's player coordinator Tommy Kallio says Viljami brings continuity to the arrival of young and talented players in the ranks of TPS. We are excited about his potential to develop in our daily lives. So definitely a promising signing for this particular team. So big well done to Viljami and everyone at TPS Turku for this signature. Now let's have a look at our next update from Group B. EVZ Zug has announced a brand new start. After another year in North America, Tobias Geiser returns to EVZ for the next 3 years. The 23-year-old was drafted 120th overall in the 2017 NHL draft in the 4th round by the Washington Capitals and received an entry-level contract in 2018, but only played for their AHL farm team Hershey Bears. Already in the 2019, 2020 and 2020-2021 seasons, the 191cm tall 91kg defensive was loaned to Zug, where he progressed through all junior levels from under 15 onwards and won the Swiss Championship title in the first team in 2021. His performances in the domestic National League were rewarded after the title with his first World Cup call-up with the national team, with his second World Cup appearance following this year. The general manager, Reto Clay, says Toby has consistently developed over the last few years and has grown into a solid defender. We're very happy about this return to Zug. So EVZ there, bringing in Tobias Geiser once again. This 23-year-old is definitely a solid player to add to their defensive lineup, and it's definitely going to be a wonderful signature for the team. So let's move into our next story, on our final story from Group B, from Olympia, Ljubljana. So the new reinforcement in Olympia in next season is the American striker Chris Dodaro, who has played for the American International College team in the NCAA for the past 5 seasons. There was a teammate of a Slovenian national team player Luka Mavra, and head coach Mick Gasiewicz says Chris Dodaro could have made a good story with his numbers from the NCAA in the US, but he wants to come to Europe and make a career here. We are talking about a guy who is very fast and energetic. He was chosen as the best defensive striker. He's good in playing with more players than less. With it, we can get a player who is hungry for proof, and we can't wait to join us. I'm happy that he's becoming part of our team as we gain the dimension we lack. He has excellent work habits and also has many qualities. I think he will fit perfectly with our team. So Chris Dodaro is an Olympia Ljubljana player, and it's going to be great to see him coming into the setup over there. So let's move into some Group C news. Now we've got a couple of very interesting stories here from Tappara Tampere. Now, the past couple of episodes have been very, very quiet for news, but they've gone all guns blazing this past week. Let's reveal to you exactly what's going down at Tappara Tampere in Group C. So story number 1, Tappara breeder Anton Levci, who won the league's goal and points exchange, has signed an NHL deal. Anton Levci, who played in Tappara throughout his career to date, has signed an NHL deal with the Florida Panthers. The season that ended in the Finnish Championship was the best in Levic's career so far. He scored 26 goals and collected 35 points. 26 plus 35 equals 61 overall in 55 regular season matches, winning both the league points exchange and the goals exchange. In the playoffs, Levci played 14 matches with power points, with 10 power points. Now, the 26 26-year-old striker has traversed the entire Tappara junior trail, and the first skate drawings were taken by Levci at the age of 4. In 2010, Levci joined the Tappara C Youth team, and at the end of the first C Youth season, the young striker got to wear the C Youth Championship silver medals around his neck. In the following season, the 2011-2012, Levci won the C Youth Championship regular season feed exchange and shared the second place in the points exchange with Lukon Aleski Sarela with 69 points overall. At the same time, Levci also set an all-time entry record for Tappara's C Youth 1 season regular season, collecting power points of 37 plus 59 in 96 during the opening season and the regular season. And again, the season ended with the silver medal. The striker who took off put us in the B Youth team, played 43 regular season matches and 3 playoff games. The season also included the first contact with the then A Junior SM series. The number of power points was a dizzying 43 plus 30 equals 72, which entitled the input exchange to win and the points exchange to second place. The average score for Levic's B Junior Championship regular season matches was 1.67. However, the team's journey was thumped after 3 playoff games. Now, Anton's career at Tappara is also one of Tappara's most long-term prospects and projects. The journey from a top junior player to the top of the league players has required a lot of work and faith. The NHL contract is a great reward for both the club and Anton for their hard work. Now, in the 2013-14 season, the team's head coach was Tappara's current player coordinator, Kimmo Vala Ruola. And he says Anton was a talented and skilled player from an early age, playing as an adult in the younger age groups to allow enough time for development. Anton's career at Tappara has become a long-term project. Now, obviously, this is fantastic news for Anton, and I'm sure Tappara is really proud of that long-term prospect getting a nice NHL deal there. So, all I can say is the best of luck to Anton and good luck in the NHL. Now, that is only the first story of 3. The second story is on a defender who played in Tappara this spring, joining the ranks of the Montreal Canadiens. Olli Leskinen, who joined Tappara's defence back in March, has signed an NHL deal with Montreal Canadiens. The club is already familiar to the 26-year-old top defender, and in the 1920 season, Leskinen made his NHL debut in a Montreal shirt. During that period, Leskinen had 5 NHL matches but no power points. Also in the second season, the top defender attended 1 NHL match and 33 AHL matches at Laval Rocket. Leskinen, who excelled in Tappara's spring matches, played 10 regular season matches, 4 plus 4 equals 8, scoring 2 winning goals and 15 playoff matches, 4 plus 6 equals 10. Now, Leskinen scored the winning goal of the third match of the final series at Nokia Arena. 3 days later, the team lifted the Canada Cup into the air. He also selected for the Finnish national team, but unfortunately the defender had to be left out for health reasons. Now, we do hope, first of all, that Leskinen is getting better in terms of health, and we wish him well with this deal with the Montreal Canadiens. Now, we've had a couple of outgoings. However, the last story from Tappara Tampere this week is a coming in, and it's a 1-year player contract with centre forward Jori Korolev. The 34-year-old star player struck himself into the hearts of all the killers on this first visit to the team. Tappara has signed a 1-year player contract with the central forward. The 34-year-old struck himself in the hearts for his previous visit to the team more than 12 years ago. A lot has happened since the last AXE season. Jori won the Finnish Championship points exchange of the 2009-2010 season with an incomprehensible power of 19 plus 50 equals 69. Now, it's the third highest score in the previous 20 years, and after the super season, the trip continued to KHL with the Lokomotiv Yaroslavl team. In his only season, Lehtera played 53 matches with 16 plus 21 equals 37 points, and many of his teammates of the 10-11 season passed from time to eternity in a plane crash that halted the entire hockey world on September 7th, 2011. Jori's journey continued from Yaroslavl to Siberia and the Sibir Novosibirsk team in the 2011-12 season. At that time, he's been able to attack in the same field with the super promising Russian talent Vladimir Telesenko and Jonas Enlund, known from Tappara. The team's season went very badly, but on a personal level, it was very good for Lehtera. He finished third on the Siberian Internal points exchange with 10 plus 16 equals 26 matches. Now, in terms of looking ahead, Jori played 45 matches in the Spartak ranks with a top power of 10 plus 29 equals 39. 5 playoff matches, still scored 2, after which the Moscow Pest came to an end. That was when he was in the Spartak ranks with Moscow. That was one of his latest stays. And now he's here in a 1-year deal at Tappara Tampere. So good luck to the 34-year-old, and I really do hope that this is the beginning of great things for Tappara Tampere and the player itself. So that is just 3 stories from one club in Group C. Now let's go on to our final Group C story from Slovan Bratislava. The management of the club has agreed a 2-year contract with young striker Jakub Mananik. He's a pupil of Topolcany Hockey, where he also started his hockey career. He tried senior hockey for the first time as a 17-year-old in Nitra, where he played the next 3 seasons, during which he managed to represent Slovakia at the Junior World Hockey Championships in Trinek at the turn of 2020 and 2021. Last season he played in Jukla Trenčín, where he scored 14 points. 6 plus 8 in 39 matches of the basic part. The robustly built centre, which has no problem holding the post of a wingman, also took part in this year's Ice Hockey World Championships. He was originally only to be on the team during training, but attracted head coach Craig Ramsey so much, he eventually included him in the final nomination for Helsinki. He left a great impression at the tournament, injured by decisive championship matches. Now, Jakub, according to sports director Otto Hasak, is a promising hockey player who is still only 21 years old. The advantage is that he can take up the position of centre and wing. With his physical play and good skating, he can be beneficial for the team on both sides of the ring. He has many significant progress in recent years, earning him a place at the Senior World Championships. We believe it will be continued to develop in Slovan, and its long-term contract predestines that should be an important part of the team's skeleton in the future. Now, this isn't the only story. We've got a couple more stories from Slovan Bratislava. Now, second story, they've agreed on an annual contract with American striker Liam Picararo. Liam is an intelligent player on the ice with great work with a hockey stick and the ability to defend the puck perfectly. He comes from an American hockey family when his mother was a professional hockey player and his grandfather a goalkeeper. A native of Massachusetts, he has several seasons rich in the ECHL, East Coast Hockey League. He scored 56 points, 25 plus 31, in the Greenville Swamp Rabbits team last season, making him the most productive player on the team. Sporting director Otto Hasak also spoke on Liam's move and said for Liam, working in Slovan will be the first European stop. With his arrival, we expect the uplift of power games, in which he proves to be a player with great creativity, an accurate pass, but also a good shot. Now, Liam has a decent overview of the game. He can get to the chance on his own, but also create them for his teammates. He should join the attacks in the so-called top 6, i.e. in the first 2 formations. Finally, for Slovan Bratislava, they have announced the signature of the well-known hockey surname striker Tomáš Torok. He began his hockey career in his native Martin. In case it's literally true the apple didn't fall far from the tree, as Tomáš's father is none other than Jaroslav Torok, a long-time HKM Zvolen player, a 2-time Slovak champion, and a faithful twin of Richard Šťastný. After leaving Martin, he accelerated in Prague Slavia, where he was the team's best scorer. Before that, in the 2012-13 season, he tried out junior competitions overseas, during which he took turns in 3 different clubs. Now, the debut among adults came for Torok in the 14-15 season at the parent club MHC Martin. In the following seasons, he regularly played in the highest Slovak hockey competition in Poprad, Nové Zámské, Zvolen, Banska, Bristica, Detva and Michalos. As of today, he has a total of 291 matches in the Slovak Extra League, in which he scored 70 points. Now, Otto says Torok is a skater and a very well-equipped player. We see him in the so-called bottom 6, i.e. the 3rd or 4th attack. That is where we can use his energy, speed and good physical pull. The coaches know how to use his attributes to play in an unbalanced state. Despite these tasks, he's also able to help the team with important Canadian points. So that is it. That is your stories from Slovan Bratislava. Tomas Torok comes in, Liam Picararo comes in, and also we have Jakub Minarek coming in. And that is the end of your Group C stories. Let's get straight in to Group D, where we have more stories from one particular club. Rogel Angelholm, the current holders of the Champions Hockey League, who finally get some stories in the Done Deals show. So first up for Rogel, they've agreed with Ryan Mckinnon to break the Hills contract. This was announced by Sporting Director Chris Abbott on Tuesday. Mckinnon signed a 2-year contract with Rogel for the 21-22 season. The right-handed defender scored 16 points, 2 plus 14 in 49 games in the SHL's regular season, and an assist in 11 games in the playoffs. With 2 points, 1 plus 1 in 13 games, he helped Rogel to his first CHL title. So best of luck to Ryan Mckinnon, and good luck to his next pathway. Now, the second bit of news is actually a wheel and deal on the coaching side of the team. The search for the new assistant coach is over. Well-deserved Lars Johansson now takes a seat next to Cam Abbott, David Prince, and goalkeeping coach Peter Hirsch in the coach booth on a 2-year contract. On Wednesday, Rogel BK finished with a well-deserved name for the position during 8 seasons, 2008 to 2016, as general manager of 2 Swedish Championship goals as 6 Swedish Championship final team Skellefteå. Lars Johansson, Lars Johansson, who will basically become the new assistant coach. He said, I'm fantastically happy there was a place and opportunity for me to come to Rogel. It feels very fun. It felt good from the first conversation with Chris, and when I have been down and met everybody in the whole organisation, got to see all the facilities in the city, it became so obvious. Now, it's always great to have that kind of experience working off the field, and as a young player, I bet it'd be great working with that kind of experience and that kind of winning culture as a manager. So they've got someone really good there at the club now, and I really hope that you know, he'll hope maybe who knows, maybe he could be helping the coaches and the main guy lead Rogel to a second Champions Hockey League title this next season. Who knows? We'll have to see whether this change is worth it and whether it pays off, because on paper, you know, on paper I think it pays off, so should be interesting. Now, we got some final news from Rogel. Anton Begston will stay. He did not sign an NHL contract before Wednesday's deadline. It was the deadline for NHL clubs to miss Swedish players back on Wednesday for the coming season. When the deadline had passed, it was clear no more Rogel players would leave for the NHL next season. Begston was one of those rumoured to be on the way, but it's clear the 29-year-old will stay. In terms of goals and points, Begston got a real breakthrough in the SHL last season. The forward scored 20 goals and a total of 39 points in 49 regular season games, and a total of 6 points, 5 plus 1, in the 13 playoff games. In the CHL, he was even noted for 7 points in 11 games. Begston said, my development has gone straight up here, and I want to win Swedish Championship gold with Rogel. Everyone wants me to play in the NHL, including me, and there was many discussions, but in the end we came to the conclusion it didn't feel good enough or suited the family. My development here in Rogel has gone straight up, and I want to continue it and win here. That is the goal. So that is what was said on Begston staying rather than taking the NHL move before Wednesday's deadline. Obviously, it is tough not to be able to get that move to the NHL and be on that American stage. However, you know, with the reasons that Begston just said in his press conference there, it definitely sounds like it was probably the right move at this particular stage. Who knows, maybe in the next sort of trade window to the NHL with Swedish players, maybe he moves in the next one, but at least for this particular one, he will stay. Now, let's get into our next story from the group, and that is from Fehérvár AV19. And once again, we've got more than one story from this Hungarian team. So the Hungarians are finally on the Done Deals show, and we start with Canadian defender Andrew Bryan officially joining Fehérvár AV19. The defender has CHL experience coming from Red Bull Munich. O'Brien was born in Canada, but his grandparents were still born in Hungary. So the 193cm tall quarterback has an Hungarian passport in addition to his Canadian citizenship. During his European career, O'Brien has also toured in Norway, KHL, SHL, the League, and the DEL. So we wants to help the team with his experience. He said, "I don't know Hungarian, but I want to learn it. My mother speaks Hungarian. Her background is very important to her, so I'll be honoured to play in Hungary as well, and she'll definitely visit her many times. Ever since I got my citizenship, I have planned to be in Hungary once, so it would definitely be special to play here. I'm a well-mannered player, so I don't get intimidated by physical play, and I skate well in addition. I want to be a solid point in defence." Now, obviously, that is very, very key. This particular defensive player has got some decent stats on him. I feel like, you know, he could be a great asset to the defence of Fehervar, especially going into that CHL. You know, like I said, O'Brien's got that CHL experience with Red Bull Munich, and he's been around these different leagues in Europe, so I can only think it's a great addition to Fehervar and a wonderful signing for the club. Now, of course, that isn't the only story. We have another story coming from Fehervar, another player arriving in Hungary. American striker Patrick Newell has arrived and is added to the team's offensive. He was among the finalists for the 2019 Best Player in the NCAA, earning a number of accolades during his university years, joining the All-Stars team in addition to the Striker of the Year, and was previously an NCAA champion and a USHL champion. His professional career began with a 3-year deal with the New York Rangers and the AHL, and has already hit the ice during the season, scoring 13 points for both seasons on the Hartford Wolfpack. In 2021, he made his way to the ice in the Norwegian League with a total of 54 matches and scored 59 points, making him the 6th most successful player in the league. Newell said, "I know the league is a very good quality, balanced league with more good teams. I've already heard from the fans in Fehervar and they are the best, so I'm really looking forward to playing in front of them." CHL was also tempting. It was a great opportunity to be up against the best teams in Europe, so I'm glad to be a part of that too. Now, the sports manager at the club, Victor Slazig, says, "We are looking for a guy who's fast and skillful, puts his strength and ability to play together. We need a winger who is suitable for combo play, fast, and could finish the action if needed. It is not every day that a Hobey Baker Prize finalist, Newell, comes to us with great talent, so I hope that you can make the most of it with us." Now, obviously, again, this is a decent signing with his kind of talent, with his past accolades. I think this is a very underrated attacking signing for me. I feel like they've adding to the defensive, then adding to the offensive later on in the week was a great move by Fehervar going into the next season domestically and in Europe. So I can only think this is a good move, and best of luck, of course, goes to Patrick, and of course, best of luck once again goes to Andrew O'Brien as well. Final story then from the group, and this is from GKS Katowice. So let's see exactly what's been said on the couple of stories from Poland. So starting off, the contract for the next season was extended for Patrick Wajda. Now, the player will play his 4th season in a row with the colours of the club, and Wajda's score in the championship season 2021-2022 is 8 points in the basic phase, 3 goals and 5 assists, and 2 assists in the knockout phase, while in the plus-minus classification, Wajda scored a total of plus 19. The experienced defender finished the successful season with good performance in the Polish national team, which won promotion to the IA division. Hockey director Roch Bolokowski says all fans of GKS Katowice know Patrick's strengths, full dedication on the ice, blocking rival shots and performing key work on the defensive period. Such determined and effective defender is supportive for each team. An important aspect, however, is not only the attitude of Patrick on the ice, but also out of it. We are very happy that our cooperation has been going on for a 4th year in a row. So very, very good stuff there from the extension of Wajda's contract. That isn't all from Katowice. Marcin Kalous is another player that we see in the lineup for the Polish champions next season. Kalous joined Katowice from Toron Podhalanowy Targ in January 2022. The 36-year-old forward also played for Gieska in the 1920 season and was the team's leading player at the time. Kolos confirmed his sports skills in the decisive phase of the season, helping Katowice in reaching for the coveted title of Polish champion, the 4th in the career of the player himself. In 11 matches of the regular phase, he scored 11 points, 4 goals and 7 assists, and the same is in the playoff phase, 2 goals and 9 assists. In the season plus-minus classification, Kolos achieved a total score of plus 16. The hockey director, Rock, says Martin's contractual situation weighed on for some time. We finally came to an agreement agreement and we'll be able to count on his enormous experience in the next season. He's a universal player who successfully fulfills offensive and defensive tasks, guaranteeing a sufficiently high quality of game on ice. Marcin's contract is definitely some good news for Katowice, and best of luck to all involved. Now, there is no Group E news, so let's move straight into some news from Fagerstad Galstad in Group F. So one of the big goals for Fagerstad is to develop players in the BK Academy N. Some take a place in the first team, some take another step and are rewarded with a contract to the NHL club, like Oscar Back. Fagerstad trains players, some of whom become so good that they're rewarded with the NHL contract, and Fagerstad BK receives compensation for the work with player development. So Oscar Back, who last year signed an NHL contract with the Dallas Stars, part of the compensation they receive for players who take the step to the NHL is earmarked to be printed out in the system to the parent associations in order to continue to drive development forward. He played 71 games for the Texas Stars in the AHL during the season and scraped together 25 points, divided 7 goals and 18 assists. The parent association, Hammer HC, is now awarded its share of compensation. Now, the FBK Academien's Albin Tilgren says, "Glad that we together in the Värmland district train players to North America. As you know, Oscar is not the first, and we are of course hoping for more names in our surrounding associations who can take a step into the NHL in the future." So obviously great news for Oscar Back with the Dallas Stars, and you know, it's great to see the younger side of the Fagerstad Karlstad club coming through the Academy N. So good luck there. In addition to the youth, the ambition to strengthen the defensive has also been key for the main Fagerstad team, and they agreed with Max Linderoff, age 25, on a contract over the coming season. He most recently came from games in Linköping HC, and during the spring, sports director Rickard Wallin was clear that the sports management had the ambition to strengthen and broaden the backside for the coming season. As a step, Linderoff is now signed for Fagerstad, and Max spoke on the move, saying when the situation became as it was with the LHC, it was a no-brainer when Fagerstad appeared as an alternative. There was nothing to think about. Both I and the LHC felt it was the time for me to move and develop elsewhere. To be able to work with Thomas Mittel and Thomas Rodin in the future, I see as a great opportunity to bring out the hockey player I know I can be. I have many tools in the box that I've not really emerged in recent years, but with the right environment, I have great faith in my own knowledge. Many thoughts revolve around the fact that I now have the opportunity to come as a successful group, because obviously you want to know how to win it in Karlstad. It's a mentality I want to get into, and it's also something huge. It's all something that triggers something huge. When I've talked to Mittel, it feels inspiring. He knows what I can do. I can see a great opportunity to step up and become the much better hockey player that I can show before. So great news there for Max. Best of luck over at Fagerstad, and like I said, just best of luck really. Let's go into our next story from the group, from the Straubing Tigers, who return to the Done Deals show. So at Straubing this week, it's been about the youth. Adrian Klein and Yannick Valetti, who will officially remain at Straubing. The two under-23 players will also be in the Galbenstadt squad for the coming season. Klein is entering his third and Valenti his second season with the Lower Bavarian Penidel club. Last season, defender Klein and striker Valenti made a total of 34 appearances. The sporting director Jason Dunham says, "I'm happy that the boys are part of our team in the coming season. We can continue to support Adrian and Yannick on their way. The two train very disciplined and learned a lot from our experienced players. I'm proud of the boys and their development." So, short story from Straubing this week, all about the youth. These two under-23 players have got a potential to grow with the club, and they're remaining in Straubing. So best of luck to both of them, and well done to everyone involved in the deals. Finally then, from the group, we're going to go to Ocovia for a couple of stories. So first of all, Polish representative Mateusz Michalski is a new acquisition of the Belts before the upcoming season. The 29-year-old winger has signed a contract with the club until the end of the upcoming games. Mateusz was born in Zakopane, and for most of his career, he represented the colours of his home team, Podal Nowy Targ. In the 1920 season, he joined KTS Katowice, when he won the Polish Championship title in April. In total, the Polish Hockey League had played as many as 547 matches, in which he scored 127 goals and 106 assists, which gave him a total of 233 points in the Canadian classification. In the season that ended recently, he made 56 games, noting 13 hits and 11 key passes. The new addition has also appeared in the Polish national team in the IB World Championships in Taichi, where he scored 1 hit and was promoted to the back of the elite. The right winger of the Polish national team decided to continue his career in Ocovia and initialised a contract valid until the end of future games. Mateusz said Ocovia is a very good and stable club that fights for the highest goals every year and has now qualified for the Champions League. For my part, I will do everything for the new team and I hope the fans will be satisfied with my game. Best of luck to you, Mateusz. Good luck and well done to Ocovia for getting this contract over the line. But that isn't all Ocovia got over the line. 30-year-old Czech defender Daniel Krejci is a new addition to the club. The player has a contract valid for the club until the end of the upcoming games. Krejci was born in Prague and began his career in the local town of Slavia. The competitor has excellent physical conditions with a height of 190 centimetres, weighing 87 kilograms at the time of recording this. In the past, he was a youth representative of the Czech Republic, and for 4 seasons, he played in the highest league of our southern neighbours when he played 109 games, in which he scored 5 goals and made 15 assists. He also had 1 appearance in this Champions Hockey League. He also represents the colours of the Slovakian Extra League clubs, and here he can boast much better statistics. 136 matches with a balance of 26 goals and 51 key passes, and he spent the last season in his home team at the 2nd level of the competition. So some better stats there with the Slovakian Extra League clubs, and you know, best of luck to Krejci, and hope he can really kick on at Ocovia. So that is your news from that group. Now let's get into the penultimate group in this video, Group G, starting with a story from Eisbären Berlin. So in the previous week's episode, Eisbären Berlin sort of took the spotlight with many of the stories. However, this time it's just one story today. For the past week, they've signed a new goalkeeper. Finn duo Mckinnon will play for the Berlinders in the coming 2022-2023 season. Mckinnon will wear the number 30 jersey on his polar bear jersey, and he signed a 1-year contract. Now, the 20-year-old goalkeeper played for the Finnish First Division club Saipa Leppärinta and for the HC Lugano in Switzerland last season. He was drafted by the LA Kings in the 4th round of the 2020 in 112th position. The son of former NHL goalie Jussi Mckinnon went through the youth departments at Leppärinta. At the age of just 17, the left-hander played his first 2 professional games in Finland's 2nd division as a loan player for Imatra and Tappara, in which he excelled with a catch rate of a 96.3%. In the following season, the 1.88-metre goalkeeper made his debut for Saipa in Finland's top division. Mckinnon made 15 league appearances for Saipa in the 2021-2022 season before being loaned out to Lugano for the rest of the season. The goalkeeper appeared 3 times in the Swiss National League for the Ticino team. In these games, the goalkeeper had a catch rate of over 92%. Now, obviously, this is going to be a very interesting transfer for me, and you know, it'll be interesting to see how he progresses at the Eisbären Berlin club. So, well done to Finn Juho Mckinnon, and good luck in Berlin. Let's move clubs, and let's have a look at the latest from Mountfield HK for the first time in this Done Deal show. Let's have a look. In November 2020, Radovan Pavlik wore the Hradec Králové jersey for the last time. Then moved to Via Lebrec to come at Brno, but he didn't do very well. Now the 24-year-old Mountfield HK Foster is returning home and wants to restart the engines of his still promising career. He spoke on the return, saying, "I'm looking forward to what will be here in Hradec." He spoke about his speed possibly being the team's advantage, saying that should be an advantage. For example, if you want to go and attack like the right wing in the left corner, and you know that you as a teammate next to you who is also fast, then it doesn't mean where you fly. Because you know the other player will go instead, or vice versa. If he goes to attack, you will represent him. I think that'll be a very strong point of HREC Krakow's hockey. And in terms of the CHL, he spoke on the competition in that tournament, saying it's definitely attractive. It's played with foreign teams, and our group is also very strong. When I remember the finals of the Champions League here in Hradec, it was a fairy tale. It was a pity it didn't make it to the victorious end because people would deserve it. I look forward to it. So it sounds like Mansfield, from his point of view, definitely the ambition is to challenge in the Champions Hockey League, which is very, very exciting. But welcome back to Mansfield, and best of luck, Sunshine. Let's go into our next story from the group, and this is from Frölunda Gothenburg. So the Swedish Colony in the Detroit Red Wings is growing with Simon Edvinsson and Elmer Soderblom. It's not been a big secret, but now the paperwork is done and they'll leave Frölunda HC for the NHL and the Detroit Red Wings. 19-year-old Simon Edvinsson and 1 year older 20-year-old Elmer Soderblom impressed a lot during the first real senior season in Frölunda. Soderblom, for example, won the Internal Shooting League with 21 goals and is, together with Edvinsson, nominated for EHC's Award for Young Player of the Year. Sports manager Fredrik Sostrom says both players have done well for us and we're happy for them and wish them luck in their new club. I feel exactly the same. Best of luck to these two young players, two young Scandinavian players. Got a real shot with the Detroit Red Wings now of growing and developing, and best of luck to them. Let's go into our final story from the group then. As you can see, it's a full group. It's the only full group in this week in this week's episode. Let's go to our final team out of 4 in the group with a bit of news from Grenoble. The young striker of the French team, Dylan Fabre, extends the adventure. He's officially renewed for the new season. The number 78 of the Rouge et Bleu will thus begin his 6th season in the Magnus League. Following a prodigious season and a title of champion of France, the name Dylan Fabre is added to the list of extended players. The Grenoblois places its hope of his favourite club and will play a major role in the team's results in the Magnus League as well as the CHL. The general manager, Jean-Francois Dufour, expresses to us, according to him, the importance of the player within the group. Dylan was very coveted after his performances at the World Championship, and in Magnus, we absolutely wanted to keep him, which is therefore very happy that he's trusted us once again. Now, obviously, it's great to see a name like that from a championship domestic winning team being involved next season, and best of luck to Dylan Fabre on his brand new deal. Let's go into some final stories then from Group H, starting with Skellefteå AIK. So Andreas Wingerli left Skellefteå AIK before last season for an NHL adventure, but today came the good news when it became clear he will return. After 6 SHL seasons, the latest of which he was crowned with a World Cup adventure, Andreas chose to try his hand on the other side of the Atlantic. It was a season, 64 AHL matches and a total of 22 points, and he has now chosen to resume his contract with Skellefteå AIK. Wingerli is a guy who will contribute both on and off the ice. He's a player who is important in both the defensive and offensive game and plays both box play and power play. So it's great to see a very versatile player known to the Skellefteå fans and fan base returning to the club ahead of their domestic season and the Champions Hockey League campaign. So great news there, and best of luck back in Skellefteå for Andreas Wingerli. Now let's go to our final couple of stories from the Belfast Giants here in the UK. So let's start off with 25-year-old Texas native, first year pro out of college, arrived back in the 2021-2022 season. Let's talk about this guy. Basically, this guy has got some great statistics. This raw talent caught the eye of Adam Keefe and the head hockey operations team Thornton. He was honed and refined throughout an action-packed schedule. Baum relished the opportunity to play alongside veteran EHL defender Mark Garside. Baum also made his presence felt on the Giants' power play unit as the season progressed and was lauded for his consistent and reliable work on the blue line, earning him the Unsung Hero Award at the 2022 Belfast Giants Awards back in May. Commenting on the news, Adam Keefe said it's great to see Jeff return to Belfast for a second season. He has developed this game immensely throughout his first pro year and established a strong defensive presence across the blue line. This re-signing makes for another all-important piece of the puzzle coming together as we head into the EHL 2022-2023 season, as well as the CHL competition. Jeff said, "I'm very excited to be coming back to Belfast and getting back to work. Last season we had a lot of success on and off the ice. It was great to be part of a community that truly cares about what we do. We had an incredible experience last year with the fans, and it was awesome feeling to be welcomed by everyone right away and see the fans rocking their cowboy hats in the stands." Great to see Jeffbaum re-signing for another season with the Belfast Giants. He fit right in with the Belfast Giants last season. I think that, you know, the way he played and the way the fans took to Jeff, I think it really proved that, and we really saw that chemistry between the two. And to be fair, before the announcement, I think it was a no-brainer that Jeff was going to stay with Belfast for me. I just felt like he was going to stay. Now, that isn't all from Belfast. The final story of this week's episode is the captain, David Goodwin, re-signing for another season. Goodwin was the core of one of the most prolific top lines in Belfast Giants history, running right across the EIHL alongside JJ Bakincic and Scott Conway. Captaining the Giants to an historic Premier Sports Elite League and Challenge Cup double, he personally notched up 27 goals and 53 assists, good for 80 total points. A firm favourite on making an impact on and off the ice, Goody returns for his second season as captain as the Giants seek to defend their championship titles and gear up for a competitive CHL campaign in 2022-2023. Speaking of his return for next season, David Goodwin said, "I'm really excited to be back with the Giants. Last year was perfect. We had a ton of success and I'm looking forward to building on that success, winning more games and bringing trophies home. In a lot of ways, Belfast like a second home to me. I love the community, the culture and the fans are amazing. I couldn't imagine myself anywhere else." So obviously very good news there. The captain returns to Belfast for another season, and with the stats like that, with him being involved so much in that core of the group last season, again, no surprise really that he was going to stay for another season at least. So two not surprising returns, but still very good returns for Belfast ahead of the CHL and ahead of the EIHL campaign as well. And, of course, defending their Challenge Cup as well. So that is all your news stories. Let's share a summary and a final thoughts of everything we talked about this week. There we are, ladies and gentlemen, ice hockey fans around Europe and around the world. That is another jam-packed episode done and dusted. Loads of big stories there. We've got heroes returning, new faces, we've got departing stars to the NHL and beyond, we've got a new assistant coach coming in as well, we've got a brand new assistant coach coming in down at Rogel Angel Home, and you know, with Lars coming in and his experience, and we'll see how that you know, develops and see how that works off the rink with Rogel Angel Home, Rogel BK. So there's a pretty good mix of stories this week, and as you all know, I will be back same day next week with another episode of the Done Deals Show, bringing you the latest wheelings and dealings on and off the rink from all of Europe's elite clubs in the Champions Hockey League.